So you have to be very careful on that. So what I'm going to do, I'll just add div dot class value. So greater than a. So what I'm going to do, there is a space, wherever space is there, remove that spaces with a dot. And then where is the next last one? See, now it is showing exactly one of one only it is identified. So I'm giving exactly so that it will identify that element. So this is how you need to write a relative CSS selectors. And let me show you one more. If the element dynamically changing, so element attribute values are dynamically changing, then how can you handle that? This is the very important interview question also. So you have to say, so using CSS and XPath concepts, we can identify dynamically changing elements. That's the answer you have to give. So there is a contains means star. Contains means a partial value you can give. So you don't need to give complete value of that attribute. Whatever the attribute you are taking, then put a star and then you can give a partial value. You don't need to give complete value. That's the meaning of star or contains. So you have to write this formula like this: CSS equal to tag name square bracket attribute name star equal to partial attribute value within single quotes. Okay, so this is the how you can identify a dynamically changing elements. Otherwise, there is a one more starts with is a caret symbol, right? This is the caret symbol. You can use that caret symbol if that element starts with a only starting part you can give. So what is the difference between contains and starts with? Starts with, you have to give only starting part of this attribute, but contains you can take anywhere. So in the middle, in the last, or anywhere you can take with the contains. Contains is more flexible, but starts with is only starting part of that attribute you have to give. You cannot give a second word or a second letter. Only start part of that attribute you have to give. That's the starts with means. Ends with, if your element end portion is so constant, but the remaining portion is changing, then you can use ends with. So tag name square bracket attribute name dollar and equal to single quote end attribute value you have to give, end portion you have to give. Okay, so that is the beginning portion might be changing and end portion is available here and you can use that. That is the this ends with. So these are the very important concepts to identify your web elements in web pages. For example, if you see this, I told you already in the rediff, every element in the registration page, name value dynamically changes here. So how do you know, sir, it is changing? So just see that. First you try, okay, identifying the element with the name locator. So I'm using this name locator. First time it will identify, no issues. See that? First time it will identify name equal to exactly I'm giving. See now check availability. It is highlighting, right? Everybody can see that, right? There is a button CHK avail and there are some numbers and alphanumerics. But if you revisit this page means refresh. So refresh, browser refresh is on the top. Refresh. That means page is reloading. Page is reloading. And when the page is reloaded, and you cannot use the same locator. See that? If I click on that, I am using a old one. So what is it showing? It is showing error. Why it is not? It's not highlighting also. You can see, right? It's not highlighting also. It's not highlighting also. It's not highlighting. So the reason is this is changed now. You can see what is the current value. See, the value is changed current. So you can just compare both of them. So before it was 47E and now this is a 5125FF. So the value is dynamically changing but partially changing. How can you handle this? So you write a CSS selector using this Control F and you can just take only partial value. So I'm just taking partial value. The first portion, avail, only this one I'm taking. So I can write input tag. That's a formula, right? Input tag, square bracket. So name star and that value. See, even if n number of times if changes also, see it is identifying exactly that one. See, it's highlighting, right? And you change, you refresh, no problem. So basically what these formulas will help you is always, even the element changes and you don't need to change the CSS identification. See, it is identifying the same one. See, I didn't change again, right? I didn't change. That kind of robust element identification you have to develop. Same, you put a caret symbol. Why caret symbol? See, because this is the start part. I'm giving a start part only. btn chkvel start part, name attribute start part. So that is how you can identify. But if you want to identify end attribute value, so end dollar symbol if you want to use, so how can you use that? See, there is an input tag. Suppose if I want to use this value attribute, so you have to give value, means you have to give end portion. If you are taking, I want to use a dollar symbol. So, and I'm going to give my account, only account I will give account and account space, that is the one you have to give. See, this one you have to give this one. We don't know how many spaces are there. I have to give this one. I'm giving a end portion. See, it is identifying exactly now. So I didn't give complete. See, I didn't give create my, I didn't give. So I have given only end portion. That's what that dollar means. So dollar means you can give end part of that attribute. So if the beginning part is changing and you use dollar symbol of that attribute, dollar symbol, and end portion of that value give, and it will identify. So these are the three ways you can handle dynamically changing elements. So that's all about CSS, and just go through here, and I given very clearly, and you can just identify elements one by one so easily, right? So this very clearly formulas are given. All these formulas, make a note in one paper and stick onto your walls, and then practice. Keep in front of you and identify one by one. Wherever you see that kind of scenario comes, you identify those elements. Is this clear? CSS with ID, CSS with class, CSS with all other attributes, and dynamically changing elements. So these are the things very important, and a bit complex for you is relative CSS selector. Relative CSS identification, that will come by practice. So that will come by practice, and we'll see that how to write that. I'll write more, then you will get a more. But all these things you have to write, and no, share the screenshot with me in the so Slack channel. So already this task you must have completed. I expected to complete this, but you didn't complete that. I have given references also. but you didn't complete that task. So that's more worrying. You should not do that. You have to complete immediately on the same day. Why you keep postponing, I don't understand. Or 1 hour, 2 hours you have to spend. So that is a very, very important, this task. Okay. Yeah. Any questions before stopping? I'm stopping here because